Let's do this.
Trains don't wait. And when rail disasters happen, you don't get a second shot at coordination. With more than 700 grade crossings and thousands of miles of track in New Jersey alone, it's time for ECCs to get on board with the newest standard from NENA. And that's coming up next on TiPS, Today in Public Safety.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Here's your host, Fletch, with today's tips.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety. This is Fletch. I'm a NENA certified ENP, and on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday each week, I bring you the latest news and information about public safety and next generation 911 services and solutions. Today we're going to be talking about NENA's brand new Railroad Emergency Communications Standard and why it matters more than you think. Let's talk trains. 200 tons of steel that can't swerve, doesn't break quickly, and absolutely will not wait for your CAD system to catch up. In emergency communications, we live for fast response. But when a rail incident hits, it's a high-impact, low-frequency event, and those are the ones that expose our weakest links. That's why NENA's just released a game-changing document for the PSAPs, the Railroad Emergency Communications Information Document. And let me tell you, this one's not just a read-it-someday white paper. This one? It's a must-have guide for every ECC, especially the ones here in the Garden State. Believe it or not, New Jersey has over 3,400 miles of active track. That includes freight lines, commuters, and light rail. And that's more iron than Tony Stark. We've got more than 700 grade crossings, with many of them right smack in the middle of populated neighborhoods. Not to mention commercial zones. And while overall, rail incidents are rare, when they do happen, they escalate fast. Think chemical spills, pedestrian strikes, derailments near schools, or in other populated areas. And it's in those moments that coordination isn't optional. It's downright survival. So this new NENA document doesn't mess around. It dives right into the nitty-gritty, like multi-agency coordination. Because no one agency owns the track, the crossing, the signal box, and the hazmat response. Then there's accurate location identification, because saying near Maple Avenue doesn't help if there are 12 grade crossings in that zip code. Then there's responder safety, because steel wheels on steel rails don't care who's in the way. Trains don't break for badges. And then you've got the content in all those tankers and freight boxes. What's in them, and can they hurt me? It even provides templates and guidance on PSAP to railroad communication protocols, including how to quickly escalate alerts and coordinate with those rail operators who might be hundreds of miles away or even sitting in a dispatch center in Omaha. When you think about it honestly, this is one of the most practical, no-fluff documents that's come out of NENA in a while. So if you're a 911 supervisor, telecommunicator, or GIS tech, you're going to want this document in your hands yesterday. Look, it's this simple. If your ECC is near a train line, and in Jersey that's nearly everyone, this document belongs in your standard operating procedures. Because when that call comes in, you'll have seconds to react. You don't want to be Googling the railroad's emergency number, hoping you'll find someone that can tell you the contents of all that cargo. Well, that wraps up this episode of TiPS, Today in Public Safety. I hope this podcast was educational and that you learned something new. If you like what you heard today, please drop a like and be sure to tell your friends. And don't forget to leave a comment and let us know. If you've got any questions or you'd just like to suggest a topic of your own, you can reach out to me on social media at Fletch911. Who knows, maybe your idea will be the topic of a future podcast. This is Fletch. Thanks so much for listening. And if you're in public safety, thanks for what you do every single day. Stay safe and take care.
You've been listening to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Hosted by Fletch and available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on 911tips.com. That's 911tips.com. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember to join us each week for the latest on NG 911. I am Spider Harrison, the official 911 voiceover dude. Catch me on Sirius XM on various channels, including 90s on 9, the 10 spot, and on the Weekend Countdown on Hits 1. Or don't regret it for the rest of your life. Either way, I'm good.